Christina says, I agree with you, Dana, about the emotional evolution. I would not have seen all of the connections and how to heal my issues. I believe this is the only way. I too am grateful. And that's so hard to hear, and for some people. And I'm so glad that I'm not alone in that, and that you shared that. So thank you for that. And here's the cool thing too. So if you think about it in terms of emotional and spiritual evolution, that this is kind of the next wave, right, for human beings, which I really do believe that this is it. Because here's the thing, once you really get in tune with who you are living a life of purpose on purpose, and nobody can derail that. Like, you are in the zone. You know who you are. You've peeled back those layers from childhood, from people who said you can't do this, or you're not good enough or smart enough or whatever. And you're like, you know what? I know myself. I trust my judgment. I trust my intuition. I know who I am. And I have the confidence and the self-esteem to go for it. And because every single person has their own uniqueness, their own gift, and that's what it's about. That's what this life is about, is to express that gift. But we have to first find it, but before we can find it, we have to know who we are. I mean, it cracks me. I mean, it's seriously so many aha moments. I go to my bookshelf and I start flipping through all of these books, and self-help books galore, books on how to figure out what you really want to do, and how to figure out who you really are, and all of these books that I've been reading for years. And I thought that there was something wrong with me. Like, if I just journaled enough or thought about it enough, that I would be able, I just needed to decide. I needed to discover it, I just needed to decide, and I just needed to go for it. And none of those books ever worked, because I wasn't in touch with who I was. That's why I wasn't getting anywhere. So and the thing is, you know when you are on track with things, and you're in the zone. And a lot of it's paying attention to how you feel. So when you're really in the zone, when you're on track, it's this deep sense of knowing, and you get goosebumps. At least I do. My guess is probably most people do. Like, you get goosebumps, you feel good, and it might sound crazy to anybody else, where you're like, you know what? This is really what I want to do with my life. I feel like I need to go play Major League Baseball, or that I want to be an artist, or a comedian, or what have you. That's your star that you need to go follow. And there's no shortage of people in this world that will tell you that you can't do something. And just because they've given up on following their dream doesn't mean that you need to give up on following yours. So, finding, just like, it goes back to getting in tune with our different things, signs, signals that our body is sending us. So back to hot potatoes comment. She says, any chance my gut literally got sick because of the narcissist thing, that it could have recognized it before my brain? Yes, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So there really truly is this mind-body connection. That what you're describing is a visceral reaction. Visceral meaning referring to like our viscera, which is our organs. So very common, if a person is in danger, the body, people either they wet their pants, right? So like little kids, when they get scared, they wet their pants, or they poop their pants, or we vomit. So there literally is a physical reaction that happens when we're in danger. And if it's not obvious danger, which a lot of times abuse isn't, right? That those feelings, we tend to dismiss them, because this relationship that we're in, it's meeting a need. And So we're getting some need met, but a lot of things are off. So we might be feeling nauseated. We might be feeling, hesitant. We might be feeling suspicious and paranoid and jealous and frustrated and upset and all of these different feelings, but not being able to pinpoint it because we don't have the vocabulary and the understanding of what was really going on. Because again, like a lot of us tend to think that abuse goes down in a certain way, that if we don't experience awful verbal abuse, or maybe for some people awful physical abuse, that it's not abuse. But that's not true. Abuse can be neglect, right? And it doesn't even have to be severe neglect. It can just be not bonding to your children, not a child not being nurtured. So, and same within a relationship, right? So it's, if the partner is not nurtured in the relationship and they're feeling like this is really off and I don't feel good and what's going on, then those symptoms they will continue to grow because that's our body's way of trying to get our attention. So that's the other side to this. So when we're going through that complex post-traumatic stress stuff, it can be exhausting and frustrating and angering and all of these feelings, to be like, I am burdened with this. I am burdened with feeling this way and it's not fair and this sucks and I can't sleep and I'm having anxiety attacks and I'm depressed and I'm gaining weight and I can't function and I don't trust people and what's wrong with me, and I'm having panic attacks when I'm just sitting. I'm waking up with panic attacks. I'm having panic attacks when I'm watching a movie. What is going on? And what that is it's our brain's way of trying to process danger, aka trauma. Once our brain is able to process what was going on, a lot of that, and once we can convince ourselves that we can stay safe, that complex PTSD calms down. So again, like I know that this might sound crazy to a lot of people, but this is a healthy thing that we feel this way. It's a defense mechanism. It's letting us know this is something that's really wrong. We experienced trauma. Our brain is screaming at us. We need to figure out what was going on to keep us safe, to keep us alive. And so it's just in a scramble trying to process it. That's where these night terrors come from, and that's where the anxiety comes from, and that's where we feel so disjointed. We're like, I don't feel like I can trust people, and why all of a sudden am I having issues trusting people that I was fine with before? And again, a lot of it is if we are not able to accurately, that's the key word there, accurately identify what was going on and link up correct cause and effect, which a lot of this involves, again, having the vocabulary for understanding, oh, this was triangulation, this was minimization, this was abusive. Like, I'm not too emotional or crazy or delusional, or this is gaslighting, right? So you have these different terms for what was going on. Once you have the vocabulary for the different terms, then I think it really, really does help, because then you can start to process what happened to you, because now you have the words for it. So that's part of it. And part of it is, we've got all this adrenaline going through our body, and it's going to just take some time for that to calm down. So I know that complex post-traumatic stress is uncomfortable and it's awful, and it's okay to feel frustrated and irritated and angry about all of that. That's also very, very normal. There'd be something wrong with you, I think, if you didn't feel that way. It does tend to resolve in time, and it's your brain's way of really of caring about you. So that may be just another way to look at it. Because frankly, to our brain, it has to hurt this bad for us to stay away. That's why that pain and that anxiety is there.
Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.